Angry guy here, and women are passing away at alarming rates. Women are passing away at alarming rates. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the article. So, guys, this actually comes from Discover Insider, and it says US millennial women are now more likely to pass away in their late 20s and early 30s than any generation since the World War II era. This is massive, guys. This is massive. And honestly, it's hard to say that we did not see this coming because of the lifestyle choices that they're living and making. We're seeing that the ramifications of being in the streets, not establishing a family, and burning the candles at both ends is having serious repercussions. Women are more educated than they've ever been. They earn most of the college degrees, they earn most of the medical degrees. They are now the majority of all doctors in the United States. They are the significant majority of all doctors in the United Kingdom. They make up the lion's share of the medical field and whatever other field they choose to dominate. They're entering the workforce at rates much greater than men. They are actually out earning men in the workforce, and they have out earned men in the workforce for the last 30 years at the very least, according to Thomas Sowell. It's actually been 50 years of them out earning men when you adjust for education and experience, number of years worked. So, US millennial women saw their well being decline, a first in modern times per nonprofit PRB, and the numbers of women being deleted, maternal mortality, and self deletion rates have all increased for women ages 25 through 34. Keep in mind that come 2030, 45% of all women, so almost half all women between the ages of 25 and 44 years old, will be both childless and single. So that's only 6 years from now because we're almost in 2024. And the sudden reversal in progress for young women's safety comes despite an improved economic status. So, for decades, young women in the US saw sharp progress in their health and safety with each passing generation, but the momentum has now reversed for millennials. That's according to a November 30th report published by the Washington based nonprofit Population Reference Bureau, which studied the well being of women aged 25 to 34 from each generation of Americans. It found that women born between 1981 and 1999, widely classified as millennials, have seen the first drop in well being since the silent generation as they live through young adulthood. So the oldest of these women are now actually 42 years old. Women today are more likely to pass away during their late 20s and early 30s than at any other point in the previous three generations, said the report. The rate of them passing away has risen in parallel with a startling increase in maternity mortality rates among women aged 25 to 34. This is insane. So, a lot of mothers are now passing away as well, with 30.4 women passing away due to pregnancy complications out of 100,000 births for millennials, the report said. That's compared to 21 passing away, reports of them passing away per 100,000 births for the silent generation, or women who were born during and before the WW2 era, and 7.5 for baby boomers, and 9.2 for Generation X when they were aged 25 to 34. The report acknowledged that part of the surge might be due to better data collection in recent years, but it also noted that after all US states implemented a new data system in 2019, pregnancy mortality rates continue to rise sharply. So it cannot just simply be the system. Millennial women are also the first in the last century to experience rising rates of self deletion, with 7 self deletions among 100,000 women aged 25 to 34, the report said. Baby boomers and Gen X women, meanwhile, saw a respective 6 and 4.4 self deletions per 100,000 women when they were aged 25 to 34. While white millennial women saw self deletion rates decline, young Black American, Indian, or Alaskan Native, mixed race, and Hispanic women experienced increases. Statistics for women of other ethnicities were not specifically presented, and rates of deletion for millennial women rose to 4.5 deletions per 100,000 women aged 25 to 34, compared to 4.3 deletions for Gen X women when they were the same age, according to PRB. Violent deletions among young women actually fell to 3.3 per 100,000 people in 27. So the rate was actually on the decline up to 27. And then we saw sharp increases after 2019. So, and what happened in 2019? Well, we know what happened in 2020. And after the events of 2020, there's been an extreme acceleration of women deleting from reality. When PRB issued its last index, but statistics now show the rate swelled so quickly in the last 6 years that it surpassed that of Gen X per the report. With self-deletions, deletion rates are higher among young women of color, the report said, and individuals of the GLAD community are also targeted at far higher rates, it added. Contributing factors to the overall rise include the events of 2020, which increased DV rates, and recent leaps in incidents utilizing firearms. The report also said deletion is now also the leading cause of passing away for pregnant, or so women being deleted is now also the leading cause of passing away for pregnant and postnatal women, more so than typically maternal mortality causes, the report noted. Sadly, the tale of generational progress that we have taken for granted in recent generations is no longer a guarantee for millennial and Gen Z women. So Gen Z women are passing away rapidly in their 20s. Okay, so Gen Z, not just the millennial women. Millennial women are passing away rapidly as well, but Gen Z women are also passing away rapidly. It's possible that men are also seeing increased rates of passing away, but the thing is that no one actually cares about men. So it won't matter, because men have had very high rates of self-deletion, and as well as high rates of being deleted for decades now. Since keeping statistics probably, and no one actually cares. Women are experiencing higher rates of homelessness, significantly higher rates of homelessness, and men have been experiencing this for decades. From the very beginning, it's always been like that for men. No one cares. Only when it's happening to women do we now see that society is suddenly saying, "Oh my gosh, this is so terrible. What are we going to do about this?" So, if we continue on, it points out that millennial women are also faring better in the economy, although even though they're making more money than ever, they are struggling more than ever, and their quality of life, well-being, financial, mental, and everything else that goes along with that has declined more than women, going all the way back to 1928. So even though women are earning more money by themselves, it doesn't matter, because their well-being is significantly lower than women born in 1928. The decline in safety among millennial women comes despite their improved financial and education status compared to generations before. At least 43% of young millennial women in the US have graduated college, 43.6, a record level in modern history. That's compared to just 28% of Gen X women and 22% of baby boomer women who graduated by the time they turned 34. The report said. So these are almost double-digit gains. Young millennial women are also seeing a reduction in the wage gap, earning 89.7 cents for every dollar that men earn, compared to 82.4 cents on the dollar for Gen X women who were the same age. They refuse to take into consideration the number of years worked, experience. They refuse to take that into consideration. When you adjust for that, you find that women are actually far out earning men in many cases. The PRB said its well-being indicates it said the PRB says that its well-being indices were built on statistics from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So they actually took these findings from the official sources: the U.S. Census Bureau, the Labor Department, the Justice Department Statistics Bureau, and the Center for American Women and Politics in Rutgers University. So they actually took these from reputable sources, the most reputable sources. And of course, the government has to know these things, and yet they're not doing anything about it. Isn't it amazing how much the government actually cares about women? It's almost as if this is what they originally wanted to happen. And, women have never had it any better. This is the results we're seeing as men walk away from Western society, choose to focus on themselves, focus on their well-being, and avoid these things. Women are out in the streets. They're living these lives that are not benefiting them, but they don't care because they think that they have all this freedom, they have all this wealth, and they don't understand that as a result of entering into the labor force in mass droves in the 70s, what ended up happening is it doubled the available labor. It reduced the salary. So now companies were paying men half of what they were paying them before, and women were getting paid half of what men were being paid before. They had twice as much labor, and then they turned around and took the excess capital and formed things like banks like GE Capital, where they kept the money and began loaning it back to those same employees so that they could live off it. Because originally, the way companies operated is they had to pay a man enough so that he could provide for himself and his wife and family. But as a result of women entering the workforce, they now said, okay, well, we don't have to do that anymore. We have twice as much labor, so we're going to cut the amount that we pay you guys. We're going to benefit significantly from the added labor. Women are now going to have to go out, be stressed out in the workforce while being told that it's their right to make their own money, even though they're now making less than men were making before they were working, because the man would get the woman's share and give that money to her. Women fail to acknowledge that the man's money is her money and her money is her money. So whatever the man brought home, if you think about it carefully, it was always her money to begin with. If they divorced, she would take half in court. So the argument that a woman needed to go out and earn her own money made no sense, because the man's money was her money. If they divorced, she would take half and she would collect alimony, especially if she had spent her entire life as a wife. So it literally makes no sense whatsoever. If a woman wanted to safeguard her interest, she could go and, learn a trade, start a business, or after she established a relationship with her husband, then go to school and develop and earn a degree in something like in the STEM field or something along those lines. And that could work as a safeguard. But ultimately, the idea of leaving the home and going into the workforce has been absolutely catastrophic for most women in modern day society. What do you guys think regarding this? Are you shocked? Are you surprised that women are passing away at alarming rates? And not only women, but young women, women in their 30s and even 20s. And so many of these women are also Gen Zers who are just entering into adulthood. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and we'll talk about it there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.